What if I told you the New York Ripper wasn't just one killer, but two? Dexter. Resurrection may have just revealed the darkest twist yet, and the evidence will make you question everything you thought you knew about this show. Because from Blessing's mom's eerie cat statues, to family secrets that refuse to stay buried, to the shocking possibility that Gigi herself is the Ripper's daughter, the clues are stacking up. And once you see the connections, you'll realize this theory makes way more sense than the internet's favorite suspects.
She thought she could run. She didn't have anywhere to go in that shitty little house of hers. All she could do was cower in her own bed, your sweet little sister.
Fans thought they cracked the case when the show revealed the Ripper's voice in episode 7. It was chilling, a ghostly whisper that seemed to haunt victims long after the crime. But here's the catch. The Ripper hasn't been active in the present timeline. No physical attacks, no new kills. Just the voice, taunting from the shadows. That silence is terrifying, because killers like this don't stop. They wait. But what if the Ripper we hear isn't the same Ripper who started it all? What if Dexter, Resurrection has been quietly building toward the reveal that the Ripper is actually two killers, one who began the legacy and another who refuses to let it die? Some fans already theorize that Leon Prader isn't the Ripper himself, but the one keeping the ghost alive, using recordings, misdirection, and manipulation to torment victims while carrying out his twisted obsession. And if that's true, then we might not just be chasing a single face, but a legacy passed down through two very different people. This brings us to one of the strangest background details in the series, the cat statues in Blessing's mom's collection. At first, they seem random, maybe just set dressing, but Dexter has never wasted set details like that. What if the cats are symbolic trophies, each one representing a victim or even a metaphor for 9 lives stolen by the Ripper? Think about it. Dexter has always used physical objects as markers of hidden darkness. Harry's code, Trinity's rituals, Dexter's own slides of blood. These cat statues might be the same kind of clue. A quiet reminder that the family is tied to death, whether Blessing realizes it or not. And here's the pun fans won't be able to ignore. If Blessing really is linked to the Ripper's crimes, is it a blessing or a curse? It would be the ultimate irony if Blessing carried the family stain, trapped between the innocence of his name and the curse of his bloodline. But the theory doesn't stop there. Let's talk about Gigi. Her role in the show has always felt deliberate. She's close to the chaos, yet the writers keep her background murky. And in Dexter, when someone's past is left unanswered, it's rarely an accident. What if Gigi is actually the Ripper's daughter? This would fit perfectly with the show's themes. Dexter and Harrison, Trinity and Jonah, the sins of the parent bleeding into the life of the child. It's a recurring idea in the Dexter universe. Children inheriting darkness they never asked for. If Gigi is the Ripper's daughter, it explains her placement in the story. She's not just a side character, she's a living connection to the very mystery haunting New York. Her existence ties directly into the generational curse that keeps the Ripper's name alive. And imagine the emotional twist. Gigi discovering her father was the most feared serial killer in New York's history. It would turn her into both victim and suspect, heir and hunted. So how does it all fit together? Prader manipulates from the shadows, carrying the Ripper's voice, his weapon, his legend. Blessing's family hides subtle markers of death in their home, cat statues that may be silent trophies of a killer's legacy. Gigi stands as the possible daughter of the Ripper, the biological heir to his darkness. Together, these 3 threads create a chilling picture. The Ripper is not a single man, but a curse passed on through family, disciples, and bloodlines. That's why the Ripper feels unstoppable, because even if one dies, another rises to keep the name alive. Here's where the theory gets truly terrifying. What if the Ripper is less of a man and more of a myth, a curse that can be carried by anyone willing to take it on? Think about it. The drunk driver who killed Prader's parents admitted he was a serial killer. He may have been the original Ripper, the one who started it all. Prader, desperate for connection, took on his legacy. Blessing, through family ties, may be carrying markers of it without even knowing. And Gigi, well, she may be carrying the blood of the Ripper himself. One killer begins, another imitates, another inherits. That's why the Ripper never goes away, because the Ripper isn't one man at all. It's a curse that lives on. And honestly, this theory makes more sense than the Jonah Mitchell idea. Jonah showing up in New York years later feels cheap, but a Ripper that's more than a man, one who survives through family, through symbols, through disciples. That's the kind of reveal Dexter Resurrection is building toward. So what do you think? Are the cat statues a secret code? Is blessing really cursed? And could Gigi be the Ripper's daughter, carrying the bloodline of New York's most feared killer? If you're still watching, drop 2 Rippers in the comments. Let's see how many of you are brave enough to carry this theory forward. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the discussion, because the New York Ripper's secret is only getting darker from here.
This is a much easier way to vet my victims. Time to hear the tale of Rapunzel.
All right, I hope you like my little movie, Mr. Prader. Scary.
It finally happened. Al knows Dexter Morgan's darkest secret. For 7 episodes, we thought Al was nothing more than comic relief. A bumbling serial killer dad with a fanny pack and corny jokes. But in episode 8 of Dexter Resurrection, the truth began to surface. Al isn't clueless. He isn't naive. He knows Dexter killed the entire serial killer club, and he just might be the most dangerous person Dexter has ever faced.
Ponytails, Al's fetish, his need. He's going to kill this woman on camera, and I have to sit here with these monsters while they enjoy every fucking minute of it.
But how did Al, the unlikeliest member of the Killers Club, piece together what even Batista and the Miami police never could? And what does this mean for Dexter's future? Let's break it down. Episode 8 sets the stage with a moment fans almost overlooked. Dexter calls Al, pushing him to meet up after the Hamilton play.
Hey, Red.
Hey, Al.
How you doing? You know, I've been meaning to check up on you.
You wanna grab a drink tonight?
Oh, pal, I would, but you know what? I'm seeing Hamilton tonight.
On the surface, Al plays along. He says he'll be there. But when the play ends, Dexter is outside waiting. And Al never shows.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, where the fuck are you?
Instead, Al gives Dexter the excuse that he left halfway through.
I'm so sorry, Red. Hamilton, not what I signed up for. You know, it's a rap show. I couldn't understand a damn word they said. Total waste of money. I took off at intermission.
But here's the kicker. The more you look at it, the more it feels like he was never there at all. He didn't flake. He vanished. He slipped away from Dexter entirely, and slipping away from Dexter is almost impossible. Dexter's reaction tells the story. He's furious. Not just disappointed, furious. And then comes the detail that changes everything. As soon as the call ends, Al tosses his phone out the window, cutting all contact with Dexter for good.
Take care of yourself, okay, pal?
That single move isn't random. It's calculated. It's the move of someone who knows exactly what kind of predator is on his tail. For weeks, fans bought into Al's image as a goofy, harmless dad. The guy with cargo pants, a fanny pack, and an endless supply of corny dad jokes. But episode 8 flips that narrative on its head. Because here's the truth. Al's bubbly personality isn't who he is. It's a mask. Think about it. This man has been hiding in plain sight for years, evading suspicion from his family, his community, and even law enforcement. That's not luck. That's skill. That's calculation. It's the exact same trick Dexter used during his years in Miami. Be friendly. Be relatable. Make people underestimate you. That way, when bodies start piling up, you're the last person anyone suspects. And if Al's cover story sounds familiar, it should. He's almost a mirror image of Arthur Mitchell, the Trinity Killer, a family man, outwardly wholesome, who secretly lives a double life as a murderer.
I was wrong. Trinity's a husband, a father. He's like me.
Fans have been quick to make the comparison, and it makes sense. Trinity was widely considered Dexter's greatest villain. The writers know that. They are deliberately laying the groundwork. And Al's survival in episode 8 might be the clue that he's destined to play that same role in Resurrection. Because here's the key point. Killers don't survive Dexter. They never have. The table is always final. And yet Al walked away. That alone proves he's more formidable than he first appeared. So how exactly did Al connect the dots? It comes down to 3 critical details. First, he's the last man standing. Every other member of the serial killer club is dead. The pattern is too obvious to ignore, and Al knows it. Second, Dexter pushed too hard. His constant invitations, his insistence that they meet after the Hamilton play, it all set off alarm bells. Serial killers operate on instinct, and Al's instincts were screaming that Dexter was circling in on him. Third, and most important, was Al's reaction. Tossing the phone wasn't just paranoia, it was self-preservation. A final break with Dexter before it was too late. And that act speaks volumes. Al knows he's in danger. The bubbly act? Gone. The clueless smile? Fake. For the first time, we saw the mask slip, and the cold, calculating man underneath. And if Al really knows that Dexter killed the rest of the club, then this isn't just about survival anymore. This is about revenge, about evening the score, and that makes him a threat unlike any other.
They all have to die. I need to sever all ties to this group as soon as possible. But right now, I have to convince them that I sever innocent people's heads.
When Al drove off at the end of episode 8, it wasn't a goodbye. It was a promise that he'll be back. And when he returns, he won't be the goofy side character anymore. He'll be the villain. Fans are already speculating that Al will become the Trinity figure of Dexter. Resurrection. The family man with a dark secret. The mirror to Dexter himself. And let's be honest, that dynamic is exactly what made Season 4 the greatest in the franchise. If the writers play this right, Al could become Dexter's most dangerous enemy yet. Because unlike Batista or the police, Al doesn't need proof. He doesn't need evidence. He knows the truth. And that knowledge makes him lethal. Think about the stakes here. Dexter has always stayed one step ahead of law enforcement, but facing someone who operates like him, someone who knows how he thinks, how he hunts, how he kills, that's a different battle entirely. And that's why fans are convinced Al isn't gone. He's being set up for a major role in Season 2, a role that could push Dexter into the most dangerous chapter of his life yet. For years, Dexter has lived by one rule: stay invisible. Keep the dark passenger hidden. But Al changes the game. Because Al isn't chasing him with a badge. He isn't chasing him with warrants or evidence. He's chasing him with understanding. Al knows what Dexter really is. He's seen the pattern. He's felt the danger. And unlike cops or detectives, Al doesn't need to play by the rules. He can move in the shadows, just like Dexter. That's what makes this twist so terrifying. For the first time in Resurrection, Dexter isn't just hunted by law enforcement. He's hunted by another predator, one who knows exactly how he thinks. And that's why fans are drawing the inevitable comparison to Arthur Mitchell. Trinity forced Dexter into a war he barely survived, and Al could easily play that same role in Season 2. A family man on the surface, but underneath, a relentless enemy who knows exactly how to strike. So what happens next? If Al really knows Dexter killed the entire serial killer club, then every move Dexter makes from now on is under threat. He can't relax, he can't hide, because Al is out there waiting. And here's the thing, Al's survival wasn't an accident. The writers didn't let him walk away by chance. They've built him up for something bigger. Al might have just gone from comic relief to the single most dangerous threat in Dexter's new life. And that changes everything. So here's the question. If Al really knows Dexter's darkest secret, what's his next move? Does he disappear forever? Or does he come back for revenge, ready to expose Dexter for what he really is? Drop your theories in the comments, and if you're still watching, type Al knows down below so I know who the real Dexter fans are. And remember, tread lightly.
Harrison thinks he's finally found love. In Dexter, Resurrection, his connection with Gigi feels like the one thing pulling him toward a normal life. But what if that love isn't what it seems? Because some fans believe Gigi is hiding the darkest secret of all, that she's the daughter of the New York Ripper. If that theory is true, it would mean Harrison and Gigi are bound together not just by romance, but by blood. Both of their fathers could be serial killers. And that shocking possibility changes everything we thought we knew about the show. So what's the truth? Is Gigi really the Ripper's daughter? And if so, what does that mean for Harrison's future? When Gigi first appeared in episode 7, most fans assumed she was just Harrison's new love interest, a character designed to give him stability in a world full of chaos. But for longtime Dexter viewers, that immediately raised a red flag, because this franchise has a history of introducing seemingly innocent characters late in the story, only for them to hide massive secrets. Think back to Season 1, when Rudy Cooper turned out to be Brian Moser, Dexter's own brother and the ice truck killer. Gigi's timing feels like deja vu, and that's why the theories around her exploded so fast. The most suspicious detail is her injured arm. She laughs it off, blaming a recent motorcycle crash, but the vagueness almost feels deliberate. Why bring so much attention to a wound if it isn't hiding something bigger? In Dexter, details like this are never random. It may not explain why the Ripper stopped years ago, but it could be the writers planting a seed, a hint that Gigi's past isn't as clean as it looks. Then there's her eerie connection to Harrison. Within moments of meeting him, she somehow recognizes he's an orphan. That's not normal intuition. That feels like lived experience. Like she too grew up with the scars of a broken family. Fans have pointed out that Gigi's quick insight could signal her own ties to foster care or orphanhood, the same world where Harrison has always struggled to belong. But here's where things get even darker. The Ripper's voice, revealed in episode 7, was clearly male. Or was it? In an age of voice changers, AI tools, and deliberate misdirection, the idea that the show gave us a male voice might just be a trick. After all, Gigi being a woman would make her the perfect misdirect. By hiding behind a fake male voice, she could have kept suspicion away from herself all along. And then came episode 8. Harrison and Gigi's relationship moved forward quickly, maybe too quickly. We saw them spend the night together in a hotel, and the next morning, Harrison woke up, opened the curtains, and smiled at her sleeping by his side. It was one of the few moments in his life where he seemed truly happy, almost like he was free from his father's darkness at last. But that's exactly why it felt like a setup, because in storytelling, when a character finally finds peace, it's usually the calm before the storm. Episode 8 hammered that theme home. Multiple killers, from Blessing to Al to even Dexter himself, talked about keeping their secret lives away from their families. But those walls are crumbling fast. And for Harrison, that means his new love might be dragging him back into the very world he's desperate to escape. Think about the parallels. Harrison is haunted by his father's legacy as the Bay Harbor Butcher. Gigi may be haunted by the legacy of the New York Ripper. Put them together, and what do you get? Two kids born in blood, unknowingly recreating the same tragic cycle. Their bond isn't just attraction, it's recognition. A killer sensing another killer, and that's exactly what makes this theory so terrifying. If Gigi really is the Ripper's daughter, then Harrison isn't walking away from his past. He's walking straight back into it. If Gigi's secret comes out, Harrison won't just be heartbroken, he could be dragged into a spiral that ends with prison, or worse. And the writers know exactly what they're doing. Dexter has always been about legacies, about how the sins of one generation poison the next. For Harrison and Gigi, that theme could explode into the deadliest twist yet, because their shocking connection isn't just romantic, it's deadly. So the real question is this: will Harrison uncover Gigi's truth before it destroys him, or will he repeat his father's fate by letting love blind him to the monster right beside him? What do you think? Is Gigi really the Ripper's daughter, or is this another brilliant misdirect? Drop your theories in the comments, and let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Forever.